Dude, it's so hard to tell, hey. Look, I think they just have a chance, you know? I just think they have a chance of doing well. I don't know about winning it. I'd say that's maybe a bit of a stretch, but doing well for sure. And if they play well enough, of course they could win it on the same, you know, page.
What do you think about Virtue?
I mean, Virtue's just like a solid player, like really solid. Yeah, everyone knows what he's like. He definitely. I think he's learned a lot in G2. You know, when he was on Fnatic, like he's obviously just like everyone just knows about his mechanics. Like he's very mechanically good.
Yes.
But like on Fnatic, you know, he was just like he played Jaeger, say, but like he didn't really like he wasn't a roamer. Like Mag was always like their roamer. Like Mag's like good at roaming, has a good brain for it kind of thing. Applies like pressure on the roam even if he's not getting kills. And Virtue was always playing more like static positions on defense, and that's fine because you can rely on Virtue to just play in position and just do his job, get kills, put him down, you know. And he was just a really good like on Fnatic. I wouldn't say he was like he wasn't like their entry player, even though he played Zofia, because they didn't really have an entry player. They just like worked so well as a team. They just, you know, that's how they attacked. They would like it didn't like there wasn't like a sole entry player, for example. Like that was just they were just full team play on attack. So yeah, like he performed well in Fnatic, and then he got on G2, and I think he's learnt a lot because I've seen him play positions where he's roamed on G2, and I'm like, that's like, you know, he's like, this is like a proper roam role, and like roaming in EU would be obviously a big step up, and yeah, I just think he's learning. I think the whole team's learning and growing together, so the sky's the limit for that team, I feel like. But yeah, definitely a good player. Good bloke. No dramas.
Sick. Alright. Anything exciting about the bans?
So, how recent was this game again, sorry?
This? I believe this is this patch. So the my ban is sticking out to me as maybe a little bit old school, but I don't know.
I mean, hey, you gotta ban something, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Valk being up's a little bit... With, like, Echo getting nerfed, it was always, like... banning Valkyrie was a good shout, because... Alright, well, Clubhouse, as we know, it's very, like, into utility-oriented maps, so generally on attack, you're keeping a very meta lineup across the board. You're bringing a primary and a secondary hard breacher, then, generally, like, as Zoph, because just Zoph's got good soft breach. Claymore was actually important for Clubhouse, for like roam clearing, claymoring oil pit, and claymoring garage door for like a cash attack, stuff like that. And you're gonna want to bring a soft breach. And I would say the weird thing is that they're bringing Buck and not Sledge. They don't actually have nades when they play their Clubhouse.
Wow. Okay.
Unless Virtue decides, unless they decide to put Virtue on Sledge later in the map, but I'd say that's like maybe the weirdest thing.
It is going to be a roam on the church hole, even though it's not super heavy on drone denial or anything like that. They do have a mute, but...
Yeah. It's weird playing a Valk and a Pulse on a roam.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I don't remember watching this actually. I remember Rask playing Pulsar. I don't think he had the best game this game, if I remember correctly.
Okay. This is one where VP lose.
Very solid. Yep. That was just a calculated wallbang. Good stuff from Milan there, I guess. I mean, these guys are just looking to shoot drones, so I really liked that, like, he had a smart little hole in the drone hole there, just to shoot a drone, even regardless of him getting that kill. That's just a little clever thing from a player. So yeah, massive advantage for VP, like, just even getting a pick. That was off camera.
This is
I think he was holding bullet holes on oil pit there, and I feel like he got the pick.
Oh, okay.
Because he was outside there, and he just opened the front door after he got the kill, so I feel like he was holding bullet holes in the oil pit, which is filthy. But that was good from Citizen, because I guess they knew VP would have been happy with that and just tried to have fallen back to the site with the man advantage maybe. So 4v4. There you go.
Stepping up massively as the newest member. Pasha, well,
So we don't know whether they know they have the whole map, but they probably have a good calculated guess if a player found an oil pit that they have the map.
Yeah.
So now they're probably just going to try and start working.
A lot of impacts, but this is new Hibana.
Yeah, I really don't like the Hibana change at all. I just think that's terrible.
It's really strong, I feel.
Like, Hibana wasn't OP, was she? Like, I mean, sorry, wasn't underpowered. Like, why? She was fine.
Yeah.
Hard breaches are very good, and like their reasoning was like they wanted to bring her more in line with the other hard breaches, and I'm just like that wasn't needed, was it? Like Ace, if anything, is just too overpowered with his smokes. So yeah, don't know about that decision.
Wow.
So that got a bit crazy.
It did.
It was still like a calculated call from G2. I feel like they decided to drop with the plan and frag out because they knew VP had C4s on the board, so
right.
It looked a bit like chaotic, but I feel like that was calculated. They were trying to drop with the plan and try and capitalize on the fact that VP were going to throw the C4s and maybe catch them off guard. And it just came down to gunfights and VP holding strong and that kind of stuff. That definitely helped things though.
Yeah, you're not too upset with a 1-for-1 trade on the roam at all.
No, they wasted time.
For the most part, I actually quite liked it from both sides. I like the roam that Virtus Pro went for, but they are going to be skipping out
Okay, so
the next most popular
VP
side,
banned them
which is
all, okay.
Clash, and heading straight
Well, mine's
to
normally
bedroom. So whether they have a similar
good for Jim playing
style
cash side with him
game,
because
we'll see, but given that they've brought a
it's very difficult to play cash side if a team decides to clear it for Jim.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's why they're on the Clash, just as a way to help, because it's very difficult to hold cash if a team wants to take it when you're defending Jim. Definitely Hell in a Cell is a term that could be used.
Yeah, Clash is kind of fun. I don't know. I've seen Clash work a bit here from like NA games for sure.
Yep. I think it's fine to have as a variation. If you play consistently, teams would probably expect it and it might not work as well, but good variation to just have to be able to bring out. Looks pretty standard from VP though. Even though Thatcher's up, like Mute's still strong in a way, just because of the fact that EMPs don't destroy Mute Jammers anymore, they disable them. So if you put a jammer on every single wall and just spread the Thatchers out, then that means less EMPs for ADSs and stuff, so just util soak in itself. Who knows if Pasha was caught off guard there, but that's just an opening kill for G2, so not great for Jim, especially.
Yeah, you're low on numbers now right off the bat. It looks like he kind of just got spammed from the window and didn't realize it.
Yeah. So, VP will know that G2 are doing a Jacuzzi push by now. I think what Uno's just... Yeah, generally what you do is, or what most teams do is, you open up the TV wall, like the CCTV wall, to just play one player there just to hold TV so you could play on the master balcony without getting peeked from the window. So I think they're just setting that up now. Might be Citizen, the one that goes on Repellier and just holds that. And Virtue found another pick in the meantime. We don't really know what happened there.
Yeah, hard to say.
WTG is just trying to look for a pick here just to bring the numbers back, but this is so tough to win now. Shockwave might get aggressive and try and find a 1-ear. Okay, this is a bit weird. So they are actually trying to take this because Kanto's in Garage. So I would say this is a bit weird. But they obviously have a way of thinking. Because now, now they have to clear all this utility when they've been working Jacuzzi the round, so it's just a bit weird.
and a C4 to boot, holding the angle with the SMG-11, and on the other side of the
Win condition probably is like Shockwave getting aggressive and getting some big picks for Virtus Pro.
Now it comes down to how G2
It looks like they're just trying to collapse with all this pressure at once.
Wow.
And it's going wrong because they're finding isolated 1v1s.
You can't quite get the third. Virtue's really shown up in this round so far, but now we're in a 3 versus 2. Just 2 drones in pocket for Citizen. It's going to take a decent
Okay,
amount
so
of
they won in the
damage,
end, but I feel like that
and
was
he will finish things off.
scary for a sec there.
Taking
Uh-huh.
round number 2 after a pretty well
It looked
set up
like
and
they just
executed attack.
all wanted to collapse with pressure,
That's exactly
but
it, isn't it?
God, that could go wrong because you're also separated so you could get isolated in 1v1s.
Mhm.
And WTG did that. Looked like he killed a guy Jacuzzi and then just destroyed the guy mainstairs. 2 1v1s there. But it worked.
Virtue managed to push into Logistic and find one more onto
At the same time though, like coming from Cash, they like pushing from CC and Cash, they had like kind of a 2v1 there. And then from the other side of the map it was in a sense like a 3v2 in that push. So they did have man advantage on like both fronts. But then like I think that Jacuzzi or like that Jacuzzi side push was split up because you had like Virtue coming down logistics. The other 2 players might have been isolated somehow for WAG to get them as well. WTG.
Yeah, look, they definitely, you know, GT obviously have a, they definitely know what they're doing in terms of the way they want to go about things, but I don't know. So like, you're right in terms of they were kind of grouped up for a second there, but like, so Citizen and Kanto were in TV and they were like aiming up Red and Cash, and you know, there was such little time left that no one could actually drone and like say if that was clear or not. So it was kind of like they were all playing guns up. Yeah. So there was no droning. I don't know. It was interesting, and they probably had an idea of what they wanted to do, and yeah. So they've decided to go Jim again and just make the mirror adaptation instead of the Clash.
Interesting they're not wanting to go CC at all.
Yeah. To be honest, this is my opinion. If Thatcher is up on Clubhouse,
What's up, Fish?
Clubhouse is very, very attacker-sided, in my opinion. Because if you just do things properly, it's very hard for defenders on the, like, every side that's not basement to just, like, hold stronger positions. So yeah. This guy went down red, did they know? No, he just flashed. That was a bit of a freebie. Ash had managed to trade one from flanking below. Okay, 3v3.
There's 3 players left on each side. Still a roamer downstairs. Pasha falls back. Pretty critical though.
That was interesting the way they took that.
Virtue and Citizen were the only 2 players who found kills.
They didn't even try and get the cash wall open, they just isolated the guy red and just might have had info that he was flash, and Citizen is pushing for the kill there.
Still some utility left for G2 to break.
And in the meantime, Virtue was below in stock, just bucking all of cash. And it forced Rusk to peek an angle that someone was holding and die.
Right.
They got the trades back, so they've given themselves a good chance in the round. No footholds in between the sides here. That's interesting. I'm seeing that more and more often, and I don't know whether I like it or not.
What do you think of the advantages and disadvantages of that?
Oh!
Wow, what happened there? Did they both get... Did he just get it in the nick of time?
I feel like they didn't know that they had a bandit on the board, and they just weren't expecting that.
Wow.
I think G2 would have called it. They just wanted to get Jacuzzi open as an option / pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And they just wanted to get that open, and it just, wow. I feel like they didn't know bandit was on the board, and it just got tricked.
Well, that's unlucky. Jacuzzi being closed really makes this hard.
Good one to win. It's just going to come down to gunfights here.
Pasha feeling the pressure, but he does still have the trusty 416 in his
Down
side.
diffuser.
Down, but the
What was the time at? Could he have possibly just, like, held? Probably not.
Pasha feeling the pressure, but he does still have the trusty
7
416
seconds.
to
Yeah,
the
he
side,
probably had
have
to swing.
defuse it down, but the refrag comes through. Kanto up the main stairs
Okay.
and up
I would say that
to
was,
the bomb site.
you know, not like a throw, but like
A second
VP kind of threw that.
successful
That was just like gunfights at the end, and they had the advantage probably.
I really like the use of pacing by G2.
Yeah, I think in the 3v3 VP we're in a pretty big advantage, but Kanto is kind of just does Kanto things sometimes, and there's no real way to counter that.
Yeah. So you know, definitely won a good one, and then we don't know how Kanto got the kill, but Kanto just does Kanto things. I agree. Interesting Pengu check that corner. I don't know what the comms were like there.
Decided they weren't going to rotate around to the jacuzzi wall. They weren't going to fall into Virtus' pose where they had
So now they're finally going cash, okay. Okay, so they just six pick on the Cade there.
And instead what they did is very methodically
I was gonna say they might try and hide the fact that they have Cade, but he's gone garage, so he should probably get spotted by a drone if he's gone garage to reinforce. Interesting they brought Cade though, with Thatcher up.
Yeah.
If they tried to hide the fact that they had Cade, it could have worked, but he should get spotted if he's in garage by a drone
Right,
most of
because
the time.
what's your thought process? If he's hidden, can he try to trick, or if he's hidden, is it just like they're assuming it's bandit batteries, or what?
Yeah, if they didn't know they had Cade, I would assume he would have kept both in pocket and tried to maybe trick the garage wall if they were trying to get the Abanas opening the garage wall. He's still got both in pocket, so he might be going for something like that because he's playing Catwalk as well. And I think playing the Mute in conjunction is good to spread the EMPs out. And again, it would have worked better if they didn't know Cade was on the board because they might just use EMPs unknowingly to the fact that there is a Cade on the board. So the Thatcher's here, so if he threw them on in time, those Abanas could have got tricked. We didn't really see though. Rush. Yep.
Okay,
This would have been voted.
Uno just deleting Milan.
Uno went deep and he
So there's a second one garage that they don't realize.
looking for
Yep, they did not. They had no idea that guy was there.
Cool, calm and collected, composed. And he's the last one alive.
Okay, so there's trading back and forth. It got a bit crazy there.
Coming upstairs, 2 impact grenades, but not a lot to deal with. Only 2 players to find, however.
I thought that garage guy was gonna have a way bigger impact.
Not out.
Like I thought Pasha could have done a whole lot more there.
Players to find. Rask may well think there's 3.
Yeah, I feel like he downed Pengu, and then
Maybe, yeah.
Citizen just got a good trade there.
He's gonna take this fight. A flashbang goes out. That
So
was
G2
actually
is slowing
very
down. They know
good.
Rask will try and pick out 1v1s and a 1v3 here. And they're just trying to just be disciplined. Virtue's not peeking because you know Rask will try and get the one on him. That's good. They're just deciding what they want to do here. They have so much time.
Can G2 make sure they don't let it slip away?
Such a risky place to be because
Now Citizen might try and hold while they get the res up.
Rask narrowly gets some sight through the garage.
Yes, they did that well.
Doesn't have to catch anyone out. He's got to watch so many angles around himself and no one to back him up. Can he get the kill? Not quite.
Very close now.
No, they did that well. Very disciplined.
Down G2.
At the
Very
end.
Nice.
rush, and they finally closed it. Even if it takes some time to
Look,
get the
I
trigger.
really like stuff like that. I feel like they wanted that, or just that's just a play they have in their playbook, just as like a thing to bring out.
Yeah, I'm
And
starting to understand
yeah,
now
if teams aren't ready for it, that's just a freebie.
to go to, the attacking half first. They are
I
looking
definitely don't mind stuff like that.
on it.
And it was definitely like a premeditated thing because Virtue bucked in the con wall and just like hit from con as well while this was all happening. So everyone would be looking at the breach and Virtue would just kill people in cash, not looking at him. So that was excellent. It's always just little things like that, a part of a rush that really just make the difference and are like well thought out and whatnot.
Right.
And things like this, but,
So this will end up being a pretty one-sided map for G2. The final scoreline is 7-2, but it feels like a lot of these rounds have been like pretty winnable for Virtus Pro. They just sort of closely lost like these last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
But the way I
I just think like Clubhouse is like a little bit stale, and I feel like it's attacker sided with Thatcher up in my opinion.
Do I emotes? I don't think so.
Because if you
Fluffinator.
attack well,
I appreciate it though. I'm gonna come to you if
There's
I do.
no reason why you shouldn't get everything you want open and be like be able to deal with utility with your own utility. So like it comes down to defenders having to play make, and as long as you just shut them down, you should win. That's how I
Right.
think about it.
Interesting.
Because I know a lot of casters and even players and stuff go on about Clubhouse being defender sided, but that's what I think about it when Thatcher's up. I think if Thatcher's banned, definitely defender sided though, because it's more like utility dealing with the walls getting open, and then after the walls are opened, you've obviously got to deal with all the other utility that teams might have. But yeah.
Thatcher feels like he's banned like almost like every time we come here though, at least in NA.
Yeah, definitely a common ban for sure. Shockwave's playing Impacts in the Valkyrie, yeah, interesting. He did it last round as well. Or last in the defender deal.
Yeah, this was their one win.
Okay, that was just a bit of a... That was just way too easy to isolate that guy, I feel like.
Yeah, what was his other, like, could he have gone down main stairs? I felt like his rotate back downstairs was going to be construction hatch, but clearly that was cut off. So, did he really have a good other option there? Maybe gym hatch?
Citizens holding bullet was going to open. Yeah, so I think what happened there was, so their starting positions was Master and Cash.
Okay.
And then for some reason, Pasha went into bar. Like, maybe there was something commed and he went down there.
Okay.
But I feel like Milan didn't know that con wall was bucked open, so he didn't know that he was isolated so early, because he just, like, ran and didn't realize it was open. So
Yeah.
maybe if Pasha was there, he could have helped and just let him know that wall was open. So you could say unfortunate for VP. But GG isolated really well and they got the kill, so I think that's good on them.
Nice that Rask is up close to trade that kill at the very least.
Yeah, so I think with Pasha playing that aggressive, I think it's clear that VP don't really want G2 to set up for an execute here. They want to play make before that happens, and you know, not make it come down to an execute. That shouldn't have happened. What was
What the
that?
hell's going on?
What was that? Oh, I think I remember watching this game with Pat because we were talking about it. We were just like, why is so Shockwave's trying to impact Trick Story with the new Urbana change, and it's just like eventually the hatch is going to get opened.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do to stop it.
Yeah. The only thing that could work is if they used Urbana's while clearing the roam, and then like that's the only way. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember that. That was what I was. Yeah, Ross just wasn't having a good day, was he?
Yeah. That feels like a really impactful, like, C4 that could have done a lot, too.
Virtue's just frags. So yeah, again, I think they dropped with the plant there to try and kill the C4ers, and that is what Virtue did. Someone from the hatch was holding dirt. That was just good. Good late round execute.
While there's like some time to set up, what do you think about, like, I've noticed both times Citizen's been clearing these hatches by throwing 4 at a time. It's a lot safer. I feel like you can waste impacts better if you're using 2 at a time. But I guess you save time if you go 4 at a time. Is there, like, I don't know, is there a lot of thought that goes into that?
I think the only, I think maybe they could see the op line up, obviously, before the 6-pick phase. And they would have just figured out that they could be maximum 4 impacts on the board. Or maybe just, they only knew that, like, he knew there was 2, so he just like, doesn't matter, I'll just do 4 until it's open. Just knowing that fact, but...
Right.
I guess you'd have to ask them. But yeah, I feel like if it was like a turtle and it wasn't a roam, and you had like more time to just sit there on the hatch, you'd just do 2 at a time, for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason not to. Okay, so VP is setting up the same, and we'll just have to see what GTO are doing. A lot of their drones are bar and master right now, so it looks like they're going to do a con TV wall pinch. I'd have to guess. I don't mind something like this from VP. They're just trying to do something a bit aggro, maybe get a pick, but it doesn't work. So I feel like that's a situation where it's like, if he got a kill, he would have been praised, but he died, so
Yeah.
maybe he will get ridiculed, but I don't mind stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think it's good from G2 being switched on and on the ball, though. To just punish that, though. Because, hey, if he killed Pangu, that was Thermite, so that would have been massive.
That's true.
Now, they go in Garage, and I wonder if they go in Garage purely because they got a pick on a guy Garage. We don't know what their comms are like, but maybe that was an adaptation they did based off that kill.
I mean, it's gonna be pretty free. I think. Well, Citizens on the stairs. I thought it was for a moment, but like, are they playing 2 Raptors like they were the first time? It doesn't seem like it. The fact there's a drone in there. Okay, they are.
Yeah.
Where they managed a reverse sweep, but that was on defense. They struggled on their attacks.
And either take is viable with that drop, of course. So
Right. Yeah.
This is fine. WTG finds a pick on Smoke, so that is weird. I think what he did there was he peeked the breach without exposing himself and killed a guy outside garage door, maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know what happened there. Because he's red right now, so that was definitely
Like
a creative pick.
It wouldn't have been below. It had to be through the breach. At least I don't think it would have been below.
I was going to mention how Kanto
That's not
was
great.
the one before on the, I believe it was round number 3. Who took
Like,
Garrett
Pasha was under pressure with them getting the catwalk wall open from the TV breach, but still, taking garage without actually using like nades and stuff.
Yeah.
Because doing garage without nades is, I think, wrong.
Nades are Capitao.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ideally, you're not going for that. So, this is their comms. This is their, like, macro plays here. You can tell. So, Virtue's on the Logi Hatch, ready to shotgun open the Logi wall when he drops, and he's just going to hit Cash on the execute here, I'm guessing. So, they're flashing. They're putting a lot of pressure on, and yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, but Shockwave heard him. But still, if Shockwave is focused on this guy, that means they can plant, so this is fine. There you go. I think that was really well done.
I feel like WTG could have used smokes like a lot earlier to deny that plant.
Yeah,
Not sure
look,
why
the
he
smoke
didn't.
should have come out earlier. It's fair to say. Like, you could definitely say that couldn't have happened for defenders, but like in the game, when there's that much pressure being applied, it's tough sometimes.
Right.
And G2 win their gunfights, so you know. I think that was good though. Good macro play decision making there.
Certainly a solid push.
This has been G2 all day long.
Well, I'm lost for
So
words.
VP are going with that thought process of
That
running
first half
nades,
was
which
absolutely terrifying if you're
I would
Virtus
say I
Pro,
probably prefer more than the
because
buck,
now
but
you're
I'm not
on
saying
Yeah.
G2 are
the
wrong
side,
by
you
any
want to try and make your attack just as
stretch of the imagination at all.
successful
I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about how like you don't even realize necessarily how nice it can be, like being able to open up the floorboards and then immediately switch to your gun when you're playing buck. And like a lot of people, like a lot of defenders below you aren't even necessarily going to be ready for that, just because we've had so much sledge in the meta recently that when when something opens above you, you're kind of trained as a defender now that like you can peek it or you can play below it for a couple of seconds before you have to actually be worried about being shot. But with a buck, that kind of catches you off guard.
Yeah, I actually think that's like they've obviously revolved around a lot of their attacking executes around that buck like speed as well, because Virtue's done that twice now where he's just dropped con, bucked quickly, got his gun out and just hit the back like fast. So that's actually a good point, like that just speed of the play. That's just an opening kill.
Onto the Habana though, like I feel like Milan should not be in position to die to the first player. Where did he get it from? I didn't catch it.
So Kanto
The
just
window?
aggressed onto strip hallway, and Milan was just taking strip, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
Which I mean, I think that's fine. Normally, the second hard breacher takes strip club most of the time for most teams, and I think Cantor just got really aggro and just won his one because he's nuts.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. But yeah, as you said, secondary hard breacher being off the board, definitely not ideal. Not ideal. And Abana's so strong now, so yeah. It might force VP to do a church, which definitely should be viable with the Thatcher up.
Still impacts though, and now impacts matter because
That's true. Impacts are really good at getting thermite charges as well, so this could be
Yep.
big. He's going in the kitchen. Is he gonna? Well, Virtue could just C4 him. This is why he didn't thermite the hatch, because you got to walk on top. Is he gonna try and?
oh wow.
Okay.
Wow, dude. Do they have a Valk cam in there calling it? I wonder.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, you could say that was unfortunate, but if they had the info, it's not. Like, it was...
Yeah.
I could definitely see what WTG was trying to do. He was trying to, like, bait, and then, like, go back maybe after, and... Oh, well, didn't work.
Do a whole lot more than that, otherwise we'll be staring down match point in 32 seconds. Pasha to push down blue stairs.
Now this is like, good luck, you have no hard breachers, you have no time, you don't have player advantage.
Yeah. If G2 were to lose, this would be a massive throw. Basically. Yeah. Stock hatch isn't open, so this guy can play close and help. And just hits the head all the time. Yeah. Just not happening.
Probably the best push they could have done with no hard breach at all.
Yeah, I feel like as a team they just decided like, okay, we're going to try and get this kitchen hatch open, and just unfortunate that W2G got C4'd. They weren't in a good position as soon as Milan died, so that was just a snowball effect there. But yeah, I'd say that roam is an example of like, just like I wouldn't say that G2 play exactly like Na'Vi and Temporal, but G2 like have a lot of defense strategies where they're just giving the attacking team so many problems to overcome, kind of thing.
Right.
And I feel like that's like a very like purposely thought out decision making by them, because I feel like they're very confident that in each of their own individual abilities. So if they can have a defense strategy where they're causing so many problems and take ones, that they're happy with that because they feel like they'd win more ones than they lose, I feel like. And just play together well to like maybe not cause 1v1s, just isolate people as a team. They're very good playing together, so I just think that's how they play the game.
So we will finally see a round for VP, thankfully, because it's 7-2 is the final score.
True. I think Cash is very hard to defend with Thatcher up.
Yeah.
Because in theory, you should be getting the TV wall open absolutely every day of the week. As soon as that's open, that's already a lot of pressure, and then if teams go garage, it's tough. If teams go con, it's tough. It's just tough.
Definitely. Would you go as far as to say Jim is better? Any chance Jim is better than CC if Thatcher's up? I mean, it kind of has the same problem with Jacuzzi and stuff.
Yeah, it does. I wouldn't say so. I think it would just depend on like maybe what your team might be stronger at, and then maybe about the opponent you're versing. If you could like pick out something to exploit.
I think that's fair.
Okay, so I think what VP did there is they live droned Milon in through strip. Just trying to like on the chance that they might have got a pick there. So I think I feel like that's something they wouldn't do by default. So that's just something they're trying to like throw into the mix here. So I didn't mind that. And it looks like they're going con side. Interesting. Shockwave's below. So, okay, this is definitely an active decision they want to do. Shockwave's like below, like actively holding the flank here. So I feel like they wouldn't do that, but maybe they do that against a team against, like G2 because G2 is so proactive a lot of the time.
Nice tricking. Wow.
Yeah, this is really unusual. They're trying to like do both things at once.
It's working. They're gonna trick both walls.
Oh my god.
That's insane. And they lose this round.
Okay, so now this wall's got opened. How many thermites? Okay, so he still has one left. Going again? Is there... No?
They're out of EMPs.
Pat... Oh no, Pasha's... Thatcher, sorry. Okay, so Rush naded. Yeah, Uno away from the ball, so that was good teamwork in the end. Virtue's in a bit of a position. Okay. As soon as that wall got opened, he was just in a very bad spot.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I think that was... There was just little things happening that round that I think is an example of VP's counter-stratting. But, it didn't matter in the end, did it?
No,
They didn't actually get any kills from the counter-strat, it was more just like what was happening at the side.
I felt so good. Like Uno's bandit tricking was like so nice, and then
Yeah.
they kill them all from windows. They're working together from nading players down below to move them out of position.
Yeah, so it was interesting. With them doing those efforts on the strip side, like with the live droning a mill on and then Shockwave actually like holding flank right from the start in like an active position downstairs, ready to act off if someone's there. It means that they couldn't have got the TV wall open, so that's why it was a bit sketchy, and Uno had the chance to bandit trick and he did it really well and stuff.
Yeah. The Frost pick. I feel like Europe plays a ton of Frost. Like way
Yeah.
more than what we see in NA at least.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, Frost is interesting. It's actually funny on our team because I really don't like the idea of Frost,
Yeah?
and then Pat on our team just like really wants me to let him like give him the green light, and I just say no, man. Like we're not playing Frost. And he like would watch games and like Discord, and he's like, if this team wins this round playing Frost, I'm allowed to play Frost. And I'm just like, no, not happening. But I mean, she has a shotgun and a shield and a 1.5 times sight, so
Yeah?
you know, I just don't, you know, that's just me.
Fair enough, fair enough.
It's just funny. Okay, so it looks like VP are trying to set up to take Cash across. So they're just doing their due diligence, getting drones below, etc. Citizen is lit. And falling off, it looks like.
Now remember, G2 were exceptionally efficient at taking control of this entire east
Like, it's
side.
just,
They
yeah.
need to attack here. But they have set themselves
A lot of
up
utility here on the cash side.
Pro. Got the frost mat at the top of the red
Yeah, a lot of
stairs.
utility, but it's just like
Cash, he had the shield as
VP
well.
could still do whatever they. Kanto's flanking lounge right now, and
Invest
I feel like the
some
reason he's flanking is just because
Kanto actually
you just
coming
have
into
to do
the
something in the end. It's like you have to play make, like I was
Mm.
talking about earlier. That's just naughty. That is ridiculous.
Rask has got to be mad about that.
Yeah. I don't know if we went about that the right way, but like Kanto just, that was a bit sharp. I don't know if you could blame Rask for doing that. So yeah, you would say that shouldn't have happened,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Where's his defenders? Is it all five like stacked on pretty much on site? Looks like it. I don't know where
Yeah,
the fifth is.
so-
Okay, yeah.
So I think it's like, it's so hard to hold cash side, but if you fall back too early, you know, you're going to lose the round probably because you're all just so claustrophobic on site
Right.
and could get strangled out with the time left. So it's
Virtue's
just like a
below.
damned, it's just like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation,
Mm-hmm.
defending the site and playing cash.
Whoa.
We missed a few of those kills.
We did. One was through the window, so Kanto kind of got caught off guard. I don't think he expected somebody to actually push that. Oh, and Pengu's playing a rat spot. Oh my
Did not
God.
get droned, for sure.
Alright, now you gotta play for us.
Nah. I don't need to hear it from someone else. No. Okay, so WCG got the Jiggy Wall for pressure and then rotated Master main stairs window and just got a pick. And then Citizen got kills that was swerves you're talking about.
Can he try to take down Pengu? No chance whatsoever.
GG's.
So yeah, I feel like that's again. The attackers just messed up allowing the play make from the defenders to work there. Unfortunately for them.
Alright.
Because say if Kanto didn't flank and they fell off with 2 minutes left, like that's a lot of time to pinch out Master. So really attackers should win that.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take like a 10-minute break. If you wanna go take a 10-minute break as well, I'm gonna probably just like turn up these analysts and let them talk for a bit.
Yep.
So if you're down, we'll continue on and watch Cafe after in about 10 minutes. Come back here.
Yes, sir. I will do that. No worries.
Sweet. See you in a bit.
Oh.
Okay, chat. We will, as I just said, 10-minute break. We'll be back in a bit. You guys can listen to the analysts, and I will be back in about 10 minutes.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What a map 1 in the series. G2 with a very handy 7-2 victory against Virtus Pro on Clubhouse. We expected it to be a bit closer than this, so let's come together, huddle up, and as we sing Kumbaya, examine the reasons why VP could not perform up to the task, and if it really was that, or G2 just playing even better than expected. Jess, can you shed a bit more light on the happenings of this game from G2's point of view, as you kind of had your finger on the pulse for their victory?
Look, I was listening to some of the casters and they were saying, wow, G2 looking so good and stuff like that. I have to disagree. I actually think VP led them into that victory. They gifted them a lot of free 1v1s. The only standout sort of trade that I saw from VP was on main stairs, and that was a couple of times, and that was really it. For the most part, they let G2 run over the map, run over them. You're looking at these replays from Citizen, for example. He was a big standout fragger on the Hibana in multiple rounds in the first few rounds. Uno, for example, there on this replay, there were multiple times that people weren't watching default angles, were not aware of their surroundings. That's very easy to manipulate a team, regardless of your tier, if the other team looks like they have no idea what they're doing, and that's what VP kind of looked like. They looked like they were prepared. They decided to choose a map that, quite frankly, they had a very poor win rate on, and as a result, they're going to continue that loss and that really poor win rate on it. I don't think necessarily this shows that G2 is back in the grand stages of G2 being, you know, a great team that it is, but it's showing a lot of promise, especially mechanically for the squad that we called, superstars when they first joined EUL.
I wouldn't even like turn around to stats and kind of point that towards being historical evidence. This is a completely different game to what we've ever seen from these two before, where G2 look on fire. And I commented mid-match to you guys and said, you know, it's odd. Every single time we're seeing Kanto on screen, he's winning his ones. When was the last time you saw that? Probably a couple of years ago, back in the heyday of G2. And not to say that he's been terrible lately, but others around him have got better. But in this game, Virtue, when there's a kind of unsung hero, 12, 13, 14 kills, the only player in double digits, he had a standout game. But I agree with Jess. This wasn't down to G2 playing like absolute gods. They played well. Let's not take it away from them. But Virtus Pro could not stop the most basic of things. 2 rushes that you saw in the replays, every single member of G2 piling through Kitchen Hatch and not being able to kill a single one. These are like things that you learn in T4, T3 level of play to deny executes like that. And G2 are pulling it off like they're breezing through a scrim partner. It's honestly madness. And if Virtus Pro don't get this sorted, I will give them one map and say, fine. Yesterday we saw Na'Vi. They got 7-0 on Consulate. It took a bit of time. But after that, they did start to warm into the series. I'll give Virtus Pro the next map. Otherwise, we are very, very worried about you boys moving forward, so I won't lie.
I mean, G2 definitely known as the team where you yourself said it so many times, that's over the year in 2020. Like, this is a team you can never count out until the game is over. You never know what can happen. And VP, as just said in the beginning, have problems closing out games historically, especially through 2020. So something to look into. Before we kind of move on to map 2, there's one point I want to bring out. Might be just a passing thing, but we saw it yesterday, we saw it today. The Frost specifically as an operator to replace the Smoke. Very quickly, can you just explain, Jess, why that switch? What's the reasoning behind it for everybody out there that might not know the intricacies of that pick?
I mean, ever since she's got a shield now and she has the ITA secondary shotgun, it's the one that Mira and Jackal also has. It is not very good for killing unless your name is Sabos, but it is great for site manipulation and destruction. And of course, that's exactly what teams need to do very fast. Sometimes you'll run a mute in conjunction, that'll have the shotgun, or you want to run the mute with the MP5K instead, you don't want to run the shotgun, no problems, that's A-okay. You've got the Frost instead, she's got the shield, she's got multiple sort of denial, area denial of which Frost mats can be. They don't have to be killing machines. They can be area denials on their own. So I think Frost, really great main weapon as well. She's a good operator, and that's why sometimes where smokes are not really going to be used for the player denial, they're not that popular, you can bring an operator like a Frost in.
Yeah.
She'll do the site manipulation instead.
I think Pengu's had enough of being the SMG god for a bit. He wants to change and try his hands at a new weapon, and apparently he's saying, hey guys, Frost kind of does the same thing. I'll give that a whirl and let you know how I get on. And the answer so far? Pretty good, man. Fair play.
Pretty good. It's a 9mm C1. It does really well. It's super comfortable to use as an SMG, I gotta say. So very well understood from that point of view, aside from also the utility. But that's a quick point aside. Let's talk about map 2, Cafe Dostoyevsky, map that was brought forward by G2 to try to bring VP on it. After performance on map 1, expectations looking at the history of VP. Des, what do you see going down on Cafe?
I mean, again, we can look at the stats all we like, but honestly, I think form is probably the most important thing. And I think what we saw from Virtus Pro in that last map doesn't spell too well for this one coming into it again, given that it's a G2 map. And again, I'm not always kind of a big proponent of saying, oh, just because a team picked the map, they should be the ones winning it. But G2 are going into this one full of beans and full of confidence. Clubhouse, they banned away a lot. They don't like that map all that much. They lost it banned it away quite a few times, in stage 2. So I'm just thinking, coming into Cafe, where they're most comfortable in the form that they're in against a team that isn't hyper comfortable on it, are you really going to vouch for Virtus Pro on this one? And sure, they've won it 2 of the 3 times they've played it, but again, historical evidence is nothing once you start considering current form.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say just what Sloth said yesterday. I'm going to use Sloth as like my poster boy here and say he said yesterday after the first map that he played, the boys got too confident, they got too cocky, they started playing sloppy. And when you get into the second map with too much confidence on your side, it starts to give a little bit of flavor, a little bit of edge and area to move if you're the other team. That win rate you're seeing on there, sure, looks better for VP, whatever. Last time these guys went head-to-head on Cafe, it was a pretty minor, win for G2, 7-5 against VP. However, I'm looking back at when VP during the major beat Rogue on Cafe, didn't they smash them 7-1, 7-2?
I mean, Jess, let's not get ahead of ourselves. No. That wasn't exactly a hard feat back then.
Back then, I'm not saying now, I'm saying back then, that's still something, that still shows that they've got something going for them on this map. I do agree, through and through, it's a G2 map. When you say Cafe, you go G2. But I'm hoping they don't repeat mistakes on attack that were really problematic for them, so yeah.
Yes.
Since we're close to going in, VP usually run a Goyo on this map, gets counter banned with the meta shift. Do you think that will stay the same? Is this something G2 will look forward to banning or not quickly?
Probably not. I think because of the kind of like less prominence of Wamar Jaeger, it's not going to be that big a deal. One thing to watch for G2 on this map, because you kind of mentioned them playing into that defense, is drones. Always been my number one criticism on this map is they are not timely. They haven't been great with drones. Na'Vi really bullied them with this. It did go to a draw, but that's what I'm keeping a very close eye on in this match from G2, is droning.
They won't ban it because if VP is going to ban Wamai again, which is statistically what they ban on Cafe, then no way you sort of go yo somewhere and sit behind it. No way.
So map 3 or not, Jess? Yes, no?
No.
God, the boys are not looking good today.
Achu?
Nope. This is it, 2-0 G2.
All right, let's see how it goes. That's the tale from the analyst desk, ladies and gentlemen. It all continues, and we're going to go for a quick trip in snowy Moscow. The Cafe Dostoyevsky. Bring up your books. It's time to go. Gio, Dev, enjoy.
Thank you very much, Milosh. Time to get into this one. See whether G2 can keep up that insane form that they started with on map number 1. We're going over to their map pick, and VP, well, I hope you're ready for it.
It's hell of a momentum to continue, and on the other side of that, it's hell of a momentum to try and stop for Virtus Pro. This was, of course, G2's map pick. However, historically, Virtus Pro actually have a higher win rate. You did see it on the analyst desk. 67% win rate over the last year for Virtus Pro compared to a 50% win rate for G2. So maybe one might consider that Virtus Pro has an edge on this map, but G2 picked it. They've got something up their sleeve. We know it, and we saw what happened on Clubhouse, so I don't want to get too confident.
Sometimes all that matters is top form. You can have great strats, you can have great history on a specific map all day long, but if the other team kills you before you win the game, if the other team can dismantle your strategies just because they've got on-point teamwork and they're really feeling it on that day, then sometimes that's all that matters. And Virtus Pro is a team that does rely on form, that does rely on those star fraggers. Fraggers that we haven't seen show up in the server as of yet. Virtus Pro are looking to people like Pasha, like Milon, who just have not had the impact that we'd expect to see from them. On contrast, G2 have had star play after star play. We'll see whether that continues here.
Interesting, we're already having very, very different operator bans compared to Clubhouse. Now, naturally, Clubhouse especially is one of those maps where you have quite specific operator bans, but I'm noting especially the Thatcher ban from Virtus Pro. It was something that G2 brought every single round on their attack and made it work very well. Their swiftness with making hard breaching work is part of the reason that their attacks were so strong. So either Virtus Pro already wanted to ban Thatcher, or they've noted that from Clubhouse and said, right, this is a big strength.
Oh shit, I'm back.
Operator that's working for G2. Let's take it away from them and give ourselves that.
I don't think Diesel's back. That's okay. I could use a few more minutes anyways. Okay. Virtus Pro banning out the Thatcher. Thatcher ban from VP. Ying ban. It's kind of fun. Mira ban and Wamai ban. Okay. How is chat been doing? Hello, hello, hello. I have to hydrate. Thank you, Grayson. Jesus Christ. Alright. So, whenever Diesels gets back, we will start up this next VOD. Chat, how you doing? I think it's been a fun VOD so far. I really enjoy Diesel's analysis. It's nice to get a pro's POV. Fluffinator, I've been looking at your... Okay, I'm good Axon knows the Twitch emote dimensions, because I had no idea. Hello. And Hey, how's it going? Show cat. The cat isn't here. I'm sorry you've wasted your points. If their cat was here, I would show the cat.
Oh my god, what's going on here with the op pick?
Yeah, so I just got back and like paused it. There's a Ying ban, a Blitz pick, and a Monty pick. And we're on Cafe.
Yeah.
Historically, Virtus Pro's most
Oh, it wasn't actually. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that these are. It could be a 6 though. For Citizen.
I don't remember Citizen playing Blitz. I don't think.
As is the Ying, which to me is the
Ah, just the Blackbeard then. Whoever just redeemed Showcat, you're in luck.
Was this a 2-0, like, in the match?
Yes.
Okay.
Here is the cat. Aren't you so cute and fat? Yes.
Interesting.
Perhaps that is some good foresight from
One thing that I am thinking.
Okay, Twitch as well is a little odd.
Historically, and I'm talking especially in the last year.
Yeah. What are the bands again? Okay, large band.
It's Ying Thatcher on attack here.
Now, there is a case to be made for Twitch being played with her flashbangs now, in terms of burning ADSs and magnets with Ashes being gone now, but they're playing a Barna who has flashes already and Almaya's banned, so they don't necessarily have to play Twitch, but maybe they just want to. Who knows?
There's not like a crazy amount of utility you want to clear. I mean, there's 3 Banshees that should be exploded somehow, but Ash can get those technically. But without having Zoe, it might be more difficult to deal with this clash.
Yep.
Sometimes the clash is exactly what you need to counter an aggressive.
It's interesting Pengu's playing Monty when Monty got nerfed. When you punch him, he gets knocked back.
Uh-huh.
They used to play a lot of Monty on Cafe really effectively as well, so I think the fact that they're playing it just means they're going to use them just as like information and just perceived pinching pressure as well, maybe.
I missed.
Like,
oh, go ahead.
Pasha just shot like 3 drones there. Like, there was no one actually shooting him, but that's like kind of scary.
Right.
If you're like in his shoes and you just see all that window's open, there's a drone at the window, another drone behind him. Like, that was pretty scary. So that's just a good example of G2's pressure, even without actually doing anything.
Yeah. Opener pick, and this is a really scary spot, but he actually gets all the way out. I think Pengu just went for the spam.
Now that, I don't know if they knew he was in there.
Starts to push aggressively, takes a bit of damage to that nade. Fortunately,
this is a close series too. This one goes 8-7.
So not exposed.
Yeah, I feel like I watched this, but I don't remember too much about it, so okay.
They have bathroom with a sledge and it's soft.
Yeah. This is just like a pretty default hold for reading.
Oh yeah, it's reading.
And Pasha's going to be bleeding out as well, so already Virtus Pro significantly weakened.
So what happened there? Did Citizen make a play below? It looks like it. These Valcams give me a lot of info.
Nice.
That's a freebie.
But you might as well make it work. Uno Meister going
You
straight.
typically play info on this site with C4 below. Normally it's a pulse, but if Valkyrie's up and they want to play Valkyrie, they will do so.
Totally.
And this round's just like a lost soap.
Loads of intel I felt with the Clash and then also with the Valkyrie, and I think they used that really, really well here.
Yep. I wonder if they 6-picked it all as well, because maybe they saw G2 didn't have IQ and went onto the Valk or something. I didn't actually see that. But, yeah, no IQ, the Valk's cam set up, that was just heaps of info with the Clash.
Well, you know what, Citizen, I don't remember if VP 6-picked, but Citizen was on IQ and 6'd away from the IQ.
That's interesting then.
Yeah.
I think they want the IQ now. So maybe Pengu's gonna 6-pick. Yeah, okay. So now they want the IQ. Yep. That makes sense.
that C4 down below, meaning the backstore freezer area was basically.
Okay, I'm gonna run upstairs and grab a coffee. It'll take me like 10 seconds. I'll be right back.
That is fine.
Fighting
That is all good.
against a folly that came to be throughout the middle of the map. Didn't even have the option to get down to the site. So a really nice defense there from Virtus Pro.
So,
Great way
okay,
to
they did
start
re that other wall.
on this
Okay.
map after
That's just
everything that
banged, yeah.
happened on Clubhouse. However, on Clubhouse, they also did take the first round. So, if the pattern
What's the hard bridge?
itself,
Shabana.
then you would expect G2 to get this next one. But we never, you know.
Okay, so they've decided to Rio off
Always nice to get
from
the first
Bakery
one.
and not
You
play in
get
there.
more than that.
And
Sadly,
Rask has
that
banned
was
it,
very
so
tough.
he can ban a trick, obviously.
I will say,
They might have put a mute jammer on it as well, just as an initial
look as good as they did in that first round, just
water null to clear.
there's no answer.
But yeah, it basically forces G2 to
Keeping up that pressure.
contest this roam because they can't just brute force through the Bakery wall. They don't have Maverick, so all their hard breach will just get tricked. So
I am back.
that plays into the strategy. I was just talking about their setup here.
Awesome.
They're not playing in Bakery. They've reared it off and they're playing the Bandit, which means with Thatcher Ban, there's no real way to get the water null off without going above. So they're forcing G2 to go above. But it looks like they're just trying to work around the strategy and they've actually taken them back. So
Wow.
I don't know how they're getting these kills, but it looks like they were trying to work around it a little bit. And they're just getting kills.
With those kills up above, it looks like Uno's up top.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I feel like Citizen might have entered and like even walked up Brown, like did something really weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's weird to do that, but I feel like they read into the strategy and they just caught them off guard, and I feel like it's still well done at the same time, despite it being unorthodox.
Uh-huh.
And it just worked. That just worked. They just picked that apart.
That was gone in like a flash.
Opening round for themselves here on Cafe as they take Kitchen without any trouble whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, what did I say about the pattern repeating itself? This is so good. No, it was.
An absolute profit.
Alright, well that's one way to come back into the game. An absolute flawless round. A minute. And they're not even going below. They're swapping it up, they're going above.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the bar.
Alright, sorry, you're a prophet.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with swapping. Just interesting that they just didn't even want to.
No, I mean,
Go
G2
back.
did look incredibly
Just
decisive
yet.
that round. As we mentioned at the start, it looked like maybe
I wonder if
And
that
Bar's
was.
interesting.
What if that last
Sorry,
round
you
was
go.
something? I just was, or wondering if that was maybe something where like if VP always roamed the same way, perhaps, and G2 just like knew exactly where to go, find those roamers and kill them.
Yeah. It could have been a counter strat, or just like maybe that's just like a variation they have in their playbook of just like they see that kind of defense with the roam, which is pretty common with a Thatcher ban, forcing teams to like take above, and they just work around it by entering the other side of downstairs and just like work picks elsewhere. So it was just interesting.
Is Pengu gonna be on Monty the whole time here?
I think I remember him playing on an overrated attack. Yeah. But again, I don't remember. Like I didn't remember too much else about this map, so maybe I'm wrong.
Fair enough.
Who knows? We'll see. Do they have the keg wall open? Can't tell. Because this site is really interesting. Like the meta has just become to open up the keg wall, open up the bathroom wall, and just straight up contest the entrance into like piano to the
Right.
attackers. And like that is really like really come out of nowhere, and it's like now it's like the meta strat for this. I'm pretty sure like SSG and DZ were like the first teams I saw do it, and now like you see it in all the regions. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So it was I feel like it was definitely originated in NA though.
So there is a solid chance here that VP can find this, but G2, they've got
Super
But,
aggro
so good
from Pasha here.
these positions, such
Yeah.
as
I think Milon's playing under the skylight as well.
Oh really?
Okay, he's fallen back a little bit, and looks like Pasha's about to as well.
I like that he falls back. I don't like that type of a play. Like you just get droned and die, possibly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you see shop holds, but like normally there's like a castle and like you play with like a pump shotgun. So yeah, falling off initially, just shooting a drone, that's fine.
I wonder why they're worried about somebody down below. I don't think there's anybody down here, right? Unless there is.
Oh, it doesn't look like it. It looks like Citizen's just ready if one of them drones it to activate, or he's just like...
Oh, Shockwave, wow.
I don't see anyone flicking cam, so it looks like Citizen's just lurking, like off... Oh my god, Pasha just destroyed him.
He was in a really awkward spot. Like, I don't really see roamers there
Wait.
very often.
Pasha killed Pengu? What?
Oh,
Oh,
I
he's
think
still
he
in the
shot up.
skylight.
Yeah, Pasha was by the pillar's door to outside.
I think he killed Pengu and shot near the bomb and then he dropped and then absolutely destroyed Citizen.
No, he was sitting below. He shot up. Or maybe you're
Oh
I'm
my
wrong.
god.
Actually, yeah.
You know, I think he was at the bomb and then just dropped and then like destroyed Citizen.
Okay.
That was kind of nuts.
Yeah, I'm
And then
mixing up
Shockwave
players.
just tapped that guy on the wall. Our team calls it art, like that new balcony, but no one else calls it that. But we're just like, that's just the call we gave it.
Interesting.
Like, what do you call that? What do you call this balcony here?
The Uno's standing on?
Yeah.
Just new balc?
New balc, yeah. That's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so like rough and seeds. There's no like universal callouts across regions and like casters and teams and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that are like good to use. That is definitely one of the things I probably need to get worked on. I know Keeks was like trying to do something with it, but
I know, dude. I was so excited for that thing that Kix was setting up. And then he came out and he's like, yeah, we're about a year away for having anything solid. And I'm like, well, that's not...
yeah, that's not great for the short term.
Yeah.
Oh, some shots were landed that round, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is an adaptation, and I like this a lot.
Okay, talk about it.
So, they realized what VP were doing for their kitchen, which was to reinforce off bakery and play Warden Isle on it with the Thatcher ban. And G2 probably had an educated guess it was going to be kitchen next. And Pengu and Uno actually swapped operators, so Pengu went Abana and Uno went onto the Maverick. So my guess is they're going to take bakery and they're just going to nullify the banner trick by Mav tricking the wall. So this is another example of G2's round-around adaptation and just good game knowledge. So yeah, that is my guess of what's going to happen. We'll see though.
Yeah, it's really nice bringing Maverick here. You can ignore the roam, and I think this roam is going to be pretty strong. I know it like totally crumbled last time they were here, but like you've got like a mute Mozzie, so you're going to have a lot of intel, or a lot of like counter intel, and then a Valk for your own intel as well. Plus like 3 C4 or 4 C4s if they do take up top. Feels like going up above is really suicidal.
You know, this strat's really strong because banning the Thatcher and denying like the wall. Okay, Muno's over here. I'll just finish this real quick. Denying the wall and like it just forces the attackers to go above. So then like if you're denying the entry above, it's just all bases covered. You know, it's really strong. A lot of layers to the defense. So this is odd. So they've purposely 6-pick on the Maverick, but like now they're roam clearing or just trying to catch rotates. It's weird. It's like they're working a pick, but okay. So now they're roam clearing. Alright, so I think that was really odd. Maybe they saw something and they're like, okay, we want to roam clear instead. I do like this though. Citizen is lurked in below to catch rotates when the roamers fall off, so this is good. It might have come with a bit of risk because it looked like he entered solo, but now that he's actually in, this is a really strong position. But it actually looks like they're just going to drop the hatch back to side, so I don't think Citizen's going to get any kills here.
Looking desperately for this player, but he doesn't realize he's just hanging out in the laundry with another in fireplace.
Interesting round.
Oh wow, that's really unlucky.
And Milon manages a fadeaway shot onto the Maverick. 3 players left now for G2. VP
So, kind of good that freezer hatch is at least open, because you lost both your hard breachers clearing this. I guess you probably like
Yeah.
knew that that was going to be open, so you were maybe a little bit less protective of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that could definitely be a conscious decision. I know when hard breach isn't really necessary for a site, that I could play with a bit more freedom.
Uh-huh.
So that could definitely be the decision making a little bit if Pengu was entering more there. Or Uno, sorry. Look, this is rough to win. They're just going to have to funnel either through the hatch or just through one of the doors here. As long as they don't lose too many picks to vertical before the time runs out, they should be fine. Shockwave's just trying to stay alive and waste time.
Still 3 C4s.
Yeah. Ross just staying alive.
Oh no, that's the fuser down too. It was coming bakery.
So rough to win that. Rusk is just winning every gunfight. Yeah. Alright, so we didn't even get to see our Pengu. Oh no, was it Pengu? Who died first? It was Pengu, I think. Because I swear Uno was like rappelling on garage and someone died.
I don't know. I feel like that push just has a much higher chance of winning if you go garage, or not garage, bakery.
Yes, I mean like they picked the Maverick, so I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Like I thought they were gonna go bakery with the 6 pick onto the Mav. I thought that was like what they wanted to do, but the next room cleared. I don't know if there was something put them off, or I don't know. Okay, but now they're just sticking the Maverick, so maybe it was just like a, okay, they don't want to play Monty anymore, and this is their next default lineup. I don't know.
I mean, I've definitely seen a fair number of teams run like Maverick as part of their default.
Yeah.
On this.
I think that's fair to say.
But I just think you look at that previous defense and you just like say, nah, we don't want to deal with any of that.
Yeah. Especially if you lose opening kill on a defense with that many layers, it's just like rough,
Yeah.
rough, rough. So this is like they're setting up the same, except Milon's on the Legion instead of Clash, I'm pretty sure. Oh, and they got off the
Yes.
Valkyrie as well.
Yes.
And I like that, actually. So what they've done is they've got off Valkyrie because they're playing IQ, and Pasha's played Maestro. So with the lack of soft breach, because they're bringing the IQ, he's made up for that by just playing the Maestro. So that's good. That's a good adaptation from them.
There is still a lot of explosives on the side of G2. Like, they still have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clears to deal with that type of stuff. But I agree, yeah. Your Valk cams are probably not going to get anything with Citizen focusing them so hard, considering that was like a big reason why you lost the initial attack.
Yeah, that is spot on.
Lineups, attack and defense, meaning this is essentially a fresh round, though it may be the same bomb site we've seen before.
So, so we have WTG with a C4 below. So, he only has the bubbles as info this round. 3 people droning here. Okay, so I think Kanto just got one of the bubbles there.
I think so, yeah.
The boot mines from Milon are obviously going to act as a deterrent in and of themselves, and that'll make it harder for
I didn't see where the other one was. Might be like at the back of Cocktail.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be somewhere around there.
We do have Shockwave and WTG with the C4s as well. There's one thing that managed to prevent G2 from moving successfully.
That was kind of scary. You could have all banged from C1 there.
Looks like they're getting ready to make that commute now.
That's not great. Okay, this shouldn't really happen. WTG is immediately onto that, trying to get the C4 kill. But I think Uno baited that well. Like, he just mapped initially and then... Oh, he just died through the holes! Okay,
Wow.
there you go.
Great play from WTG, knowing that it is C4 miss, but still able to get the kill.
Yeah. I feel like Uno like knew what he was doing in terms of baiting the C4, but then yeah, it just got destroyed through the holes. So yeah, this is
Oh,
like
he knows. He knows.
so this is like an example of just like G2 playing a bit unorthodox. What I was trying to explain before, like so Citizens just like lurked below under pillars and then just like found a pick with info there. So they're really good at doing that. Like they will definitely go off a default push to like find a pick if they know they can get it and stuff like that. And it's what makes playing them so tricky, I imagine, because they could just you got to like be on your toes all the time. There's not a moment's rest playing a team like this because you don't know what to expect.
For sure.
Shockwave doesn't exactly know where. He's trying to peek in through the drone hole. He can't quite catch the peek.
Shockwave's trying to do a virtue.
Oh.
I actually remember this.
Yeah? Is he
I
clutch
think
this?
it gets close. I think it gets to a 1v1 but gets traded.
Mm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, I think he dies here actually. Yeah.
Eventually, Pengu lands the shot. Shockwave gave it a pretty good crack there, but she...
Was that
But yeah,
defense
I would-
getting hard pings in this, in the bomb site?
They managed to
I don't know.
bomb site at the end.
Because there were
I
red
don't
pings
remember.
on the screen, just there. But that had to have meant that there was like a camera, which would have had to been like an evil eye.
Oh, okay, so maybe the other bubble was on site then.
Finally close this drought that they've had.
Unless that was
Is
the
that what you
attackers
meant?
and I got confused. Yeah, that is what I meant, yeah. Unless I was confused and we were watching from an attacker POV, but I'm pretty sure Shockwave had red pings.
Yeah. I think it was like still okay if Pengu died because Kanto went up above and made vertical above the diffuser, but you don't want it. You don't want it to go down to 1v1 if you can.
He opens a tiny hole in the wall. That sends the information.
And there we go. That's another just again a 6-pick adaptation. So I think Citizen was on IQ, and then I think they realized that VP's not playing Valkyrie anymore because they're showing the IQ, so he went into a Zofia for more soft breach.
He has impunity in that area.
Yep.
Shockwave immediately sends up
So it's just that constant back and forth of just
information from
trying
Pasha.
to
That C4 is
pick the most
wasted. Uno doesn't get
ideal
killed.
utility round around
Uno
for your
does
team
get killed.
to counter the other team's utility.
And up until that moment,
At least shows like the benefit of like
G2, this
6th
is
pick for the
smart.
attackers, allowing them really to be flexible based on what's showing up for the defense.
Until we saw what Citizen
Yeah, I agree, and for the defenders, vice versa as well. Like
Uh-huh.
I remember like people discussing whether like 6-pick was like actually like worth it or not, and I can understand people not thinking it's too impactful from a spectator point of view because it's really hard to like see those adaptations sometimes. But as a player, it's definitely you could like 6-pick and like pick something more useful round around for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
C4 doesn't find anything. Just
Okay, VP just trying to throw a spanner in the works, trying to get a pick there. Don't know if that was
Renowned
good or
as
not.
one of the best players in the game. Mechanically incredibly
I don't know, I feel like I'm not big on like wasting your C4s like that. Like, you don't have a
Yeah.
huge odds of that working.
almost old enough for Pro League,
Yeah,
and
nah.
eventually he
Okay,
did
this
join
is
him
you don't see this a lot. 3 people are playing south.
He's back on form at the moment, at least it seems.
That is definitely a
so.
lot to
Hasn't
be repelling
quite
here.
had the impact
Better be confident nobody's gonna push him from garage. Probably a drone there. Oh
Okay.
boy.
That's quite the
I
shot
actually
there.
really like what Pasha did there because
Uh-huh.
because there's not many people repelling west, he just like regressed in the lounge and
Really like the way
like
Kanto
use that to his
moves.
advantage. That was good from him.
Okay.
Says Pasha.
So now he only has to worry about the south window for now, but it looks like now they're going back on the west, so he might have to move here.
I
Wins
really
another
should be
one.
giving him credit,
Jeez.
pumping up his tires because he's
I think that's
been pumping
calculated
G2
from him though.
senseless.
I kind of like
Shockwave
that.
now.
Wow,
He's
dude.
just going off,
Pasha
getting all these ones and he's winning them.
Triple
Oh, he
you're-
jumped out.
This Jaeger is unstoppable, and he gets back inside safely.
That's funny, dude.
somehow.
Okay,
G2 pull
sure.
flat on their faces, thanks to this insane
Write
play
that
from
one down as a
Pasha.
win for VP.
On about Pasha being
Yeah,
jealous of
for
Kanto.
sure.
Kanto should be jealous of him,
But I really
after
like that
okay.
because the meta way to like take piano was to like
Use it as well as
primarily
he does
repel
have
west and then like repel south if you need that extra
on the board.
angle pressure.
There
But
are various drones that are out
yeah, I'm pretty sure he noticed that they weren't repelling west, and he just re-aggressed and used it to his advantage. That was good. He got so many ones just then.
Thank you for working on commands, Axon. Add or delete whatever you think is necessary.
So yeah, the round was lost just clearing piano initially.
Especially when you've only got about 30 seconds remaining.
Pasha waiting yellow, white spot.
These are the easy rounds to analyze.
Citizen's gotta make his move.
Yeah.
This makes my job easy.
Gonna have to take down a lot more than that. Not much control to work with. His teammate Virtue on the roof gonna have to vault the skylight. Citizen starting to push on in near the default plan spot. These open bars expose his position. A long angle caught in 2 angles as well. He falls, and as Virtue drops the
That was
hatch,
just never
that
gonna happen.
settles a
That was
flawless
just,
round
yeah.
For VP, absolutely uncontested.
So is there a better way to try to clear him out of piano rather than just, or like clear him from Christmas rather than just like playing on those windows?
However, is the vengeance now that they're on attack?
Well, the west windows when you repel on both of them are like pretty good. You basically deny most of piano just from those 2 windows, and like it's easy to hold the runouts for those 2 compared to south as well. But there is still like a spot you could play around the minibar that's like pretty annoying to deal with, but you either like go below or repel south, and it's like just the conjunction of all the angles you should get it done.
Right.
But yeah, they just didn't have enough on west, and yeah, he took advantage of it, and that's all you just got to.
Mm-hmm.
If the opportunity's there, you got to take it.
They definitely look like they plan to claw themselves back into this series, and I think it's safe to say that they've already done that.
Alright, so we swap sides. G2 gets a defense. They bring a lot of utility here, a lot of drone denial as well. Probably going to place at least 1 player downstairs, I think.
Okay, so it looks like G2 are going to open up that keg wall, which is something we're seeing more often nowadays in the meta, even though VP weren't doing it just then. Virtue's already learned the run out time and the angle to wallbang that, just trying to get a kill.
Something that G2 would like to have that control of on their defense.
Okay, 3 people starting east here.
Sweet, thank you,
And
Axel.
reading cam, so they might do an east repel push here.
Okay.
Which you don't see too often.
Oh boy.
That's yeah.
I don't think they had him on drone.
No, I think you're right. Wow, so Cantu and Citizen both came down with Virtue Descent, so they really want to fight the entry head on there. And I think VP are just gonna try and change what they're doing. I don't think they're gonna try and mess with that anymore. Yeah.
I think G2 look really good right now. Like, you kill the sledge, now you have 3 Ash charges, and there's gonna be, what, 2 Evil Eyes and 3 Banshees on the bomb site. That's a lot of gadgets that you can't really deal with.
Oh, they had the buck as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if they 6-pick the buck, because yeah, they definitely wanted to go below with the buck, I feel like.
For sure.
You're so cute. Oh, you so cute.
Okay, Citizen might go for a Baker
Maybe
run
if
out
someone
there,
spends their
west, yeah.
points so they can look at you.
Look at Citizen. He's getting very close to the door. I was wondering if maybe he was going to take the
Okay, so this is a weird round. So, because... Okay, so now they're back in below.
Thank you, Axon.
Virtue's going undroned. Pasha heard him when he got up and just killed him.
You're so cute.
I think Citizen's still below. Yep. Oh no.
This is gonna be close.
If they just ignore this... Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't really like what they did there.
You wanted them to focus the 2v1 up top?
Yeah, yeah. If you know Citizen's below, you just ignore him and quickly take that 2v1 on the side. You just trade each other back.
Yep. Well, it doesn't matter. Holy shit.
big round. Like, I don't know.
Shut out Pengu.
But yeah, I didn't like that at the end there.
On top.
Oh, Pasha is just better, at least in this match.
Um,
Certainly is. A player who
That was a
has
weird round.
so
It was.
accolade in the EUL
Because I feel like when you're doing an East push, you kind of, you know, you need to do your due diligence and like clear the bottom properly. And they were kind of just trying to go in from the pillars door. They didn't really like know if like the other parts of the map were clear. It looked like. And then it looked like they tried to like maybe rotate, and then they like got canned to a pixel, and then they rotated again and went back down. Like, I don't know, it was like a weird round, but yeah, that's what happened. Bit of a frag fest. They're going upstairs again, so I feel like G2 felt they should have won that.
I agree.
Talk about me, he says. And I will. Sitting there on 10 kills and 4 deaths.
Pasha just like single-handedly won them back-to-back rounds too.
Yeah, no, all of his kills just then were like high impact kills as well. So
This
that was
round,
just, like,
Axon?
a massive round.
Is this round a yellow ping wallbang round coming up right here?
And man's just unstoppable.
Or are you talking about the last clutch?
Something to be feared and revered.
I didn't see any yellow pings in the last clutch.
G2,
Ah, okay. I just missed it then.
gonna have to re-establish in their own minds how much respect
Are you seeing any differences on the setup?
after Clubhouse, I can
No, that's the thing. There was no differences, and I thought Kanto would maybe move his ADSs, but he put 2 in bathroom again, so I thought they might have rotated a bit more, maybe east
Gotcha.
side, but nah. We'll see what happens this round. VP is still playing the Buck. I think that is just for the flashes, though. Maybe.
I think he's still gonna go below and try to cause some chaos.
Depends what push they do, I think.
Yeah.
So now they might be doing it. Yeah, it looks like a piano push. G2 is, I mean, Virtue's prepped the window here on Fireplace, so he might go for the 1-for-1. Yeah, he's just checking if he's repelling. He might go for this.
Wow.
I think he saw the gun. Oh no. Yep.
Hmm.
So we saw the guy holding him, and he just went for the 1-for-1 anyway. And I would say that's worth it for defenders, honestly.
Yeah, totally.
God, that was ballsy.
That's such a cool play though. Like you catch a pass, you toss it out the window, and then you use
Yeah.
that to jump out and get the kill.
That was actually kind of wild.
Yeah. And you take down the guy who single-handedly won the last 2 rounds, and you take down like 3 explosives. That's huge.
Yeah, definitely. Got to be happy with that as defenders. He's got a Banshee in pocket still. No way.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, so it's a bit awkward. They're trying to just like hold strong now, but with the keg wall open, there's less angles that are safe.
Virtus.pro need to be pushing forward if they are to take this round. Still 4 members of G2 are standing. They have those
Smoking early. This might put a lot of pressure on them.
throws one out.
Was he using that impact to try to deny some sort of hard breach?
Yeah, they might have tried to ace to see one wall open there.
Yeah.
VP's,
As well, VP, they've got to make their move.
they definitely know this guy repelled in.
He's in such a good
Peeks with
position,
the Elder.
but Uno sprays him on down with the Elder.
Wow.
Refrag through, 2 versus 2. Russ to make this plan happen. The Citizens in the perfect position to deny. It's on
Oh, he's not winning
WPG
this.
now, but there's just
No.
about
I think even that
no
2v2 while the plant was going down,
against 2
G2 were in a
players.
pretty
He
powerful
desperately
position.
walked forward, but
Yeah.
there's nothing but the clock.
Smart from Citizens to rotate still though. That was definitely the right call.
Not letting Virtus.pro land on map point.
Yeah, it was getting a little bit sketchy, but if you keep just trading back and forth, eventually, like, one of the attackers has to plant, so you should be in the man advantage
Yeah.
at the,
If
know.
G2 win this map,
So
then
there you
they
go.
will be winning this semi-final and move forward into the finals tomorrow. So there is
Oh,
reason right
that was
on
mental.
this. And if
I can't believe he just saw the guy on the floor and he's like, nah, I want to kill this guy anyway.
in that last round. Although I can't say that Virtus Pro looked bad per se. It just looks like both teams have hit the gas.
It's kind of weird Virtue's playing Mozzie. You don't
Okay.
really see him too oftenly played, like consistently at least.
This is my favorite bomb site on the map by far.
What's up,
He
chef?
definitely pops up every now and again, but
Different ways that you can
that's 2 different sites he's played him now.
And attacking reading, you also had some options. Let's have a look at what perhaps Virtus Pro bringing to the table. The same operator lineup we've seen. One size fits all.
Maybe it's just part of their philosophy of how they want to play on Cafe.
Same lineup of 5 ops on attack.
Deny info,
Time after
get
time.
aggressive in the pockets.
Matt, pretty well
Who
rounded.
knows?
I like the fact that they've got a lot of soft breach on the table as well. Breaching charges on
So
the
you got 4 C4s now and Valk cams. Unfortunately, there's no
Yeah.
IQ from VP.
downstairs.
Yep,
onto
spot
that
on.
bomb site. The Buck in particular, because he's less vulnerable
Okay, this
than
cam's
C4,
really common.
Yeah.
no doubt G2
Um,
throw up to meet.
But he threw it out after prep phase, and he might have 6-pick on the Valk, so maybe they weren't, like, they might not get that, even though they probably should.
That Virtus Pro are really centered
Nah.
around the north side of the map for the most part. You can catch one player on the rappel, but other than that, everyone else is elsewhere. At least Kanto can just get ready with placing the
Threw 2 outside?
later.
Yeah, I don't think his first one got shot either, so that was a bit weird.
Focus on this
Yeah.
outreach for Virtus Pro. It should expedite their
Oh well.
their
Okay.
aims to be opening up the floor. Make that as fast as
But this is like,
Cash is gonna get droned in as he begins
maybe they are getting shot, I was gonna say.
Mhm.
Because if you know no one's repelling, that's information that I just feel like a member of G2 would be like, okay, if no one's repelling, I'm gonna take the one on the guy entering like a cigar here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's, you know, an example of like them like using info and then like taking ones because they're confident in their gun skill.
Right.
But maybe the cams were getting shot because he fell back, and I feel like he would have contested if not.
Full bang for buck out of that utility as well.
Yeah, they could have got up on the
Ash.
roof and checked it.
Jaeger on the table, traded out for the Valkyrie. Pasha's done
Because
some good work on
I don't see why he threw 2 in the same spot if they weren't getting shot.
really important here. He's been the
So
hot player
surely.
for VP, and if G2 can take him out, they'll definitely feel more comfortable.
Paint, well, there he goes. I was gonna say Pengu will be
What
lacking
else
that
opening kill? He's
same
playing hard
free
breach this map.
refuge
Okay,
that he
that's
had
interesting.
Behind the shield, taken straight out as the first kill.
Does he usually?
The board, and it means there's a lower presence
Nah, Rusk normally plays like either soft breach or like you know, like Ash, like kind of that flex pick.
Interesting.
WTG's on the soft breach, so it looks like those two had a direct swap, but sometimes Shockwave plays hard breach as well. But normally it's Shockwave and WTG like on the flex supports and the support.
Okay, it's getting kind of crazy.
Okay, that was crazy. What just happened there?
3v2 now as we settle. Virtus Pro has
So,
floor control, and
someone was outside on the east balcony holding white stairs rotates.
Okay.
And he was holding the stairs so those two could push down the white hallway like that and not have to worry about the stairs and just look at Cocktail.
Virtus Pro
And like,
in position to drop, but
so what happened? I think what happened there was he got one on the stairs,
best friend to make
and then another one peaked, and then those two were like pushing down white and like got to kill a Cocktail, and it just was like trades.
Yeah.
But that was the idea there. So someone holds white stairs from outside so that people could push down white hallway and not look at the stairs.
deny this plan.
They have advantage in the
Um,
end.
The position, where's the
Yeah,
fight
they should win
going?
this.
Uh-oh.
Has to find this kill. And
He
can
doesn't get off the
get
plan,
on
and they deny it.
Pasha might be good, but he's not good enough to clutch
Oh,
this.
Wow.
And G2 manage a
So
were-
I think G2 just
defense in a row.
managed to waste enough time there to not set up the execute properly. Like, I don't know.
Well, they were both flanking that way too, so that's like the worst possible plant position because they're both flanking from the pillars.
Yeah, and I just think they didn't like have enough time to set up like a drone to like call it because they had such little time left. So
Uh-huh.
I think they just managed to waste enough time in the end. Yeah, it didn't look like he knew they were coming until he just peeked and checked.
This was the big question at the start of the half, was are G2 going to be able to rein that
Okay.
in, that disparity in
That was a pretty good round there.
by being on defense. And so far, it looks like they're having an easier time than they did on the attack.
So are they running water now? They're not. They might play in bakery then.
Which is what you'd expect, really.
Yeah, ADS.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Most teams here would,
Okay, so
you'd
yeah.
expect to at least
They're gonna open it, it looks like, because they only reinforced one half.
Yeah.
Virtus Pro, yeah, they had poor defense. I think the
So
thing
it's
that they
definitely,
had a
you know,
a
you
poor
probably see more often
half wasn't necessarily the fact that they got those
teams reinforcing off Bakery with a Thatcher Van and putting Water Nile on it, and then roaming
rounds. And let's be honest,
Uh-huh.
to cover all the bases, but
watched in Clubhouse where
they might just
Virtus
be
Pro
going for a full horizontal
really didn't look like they showed up
contest
to
all the
set.
bottom
They had
four here.
one flawless rounds, but we only got 2 across the whole map. So I don't really think that we expected Virtus Pro
Yep,
to
the
come
hatch is
out
reinforced, okay, so they're probably, yep.
While they've got that
It might be a light
So,
roam.
they had that great
Yeah, just a light roam, yep. I think you're spot on there.
they're gonna have to
But
keep
he does
things
love that,
going,
doesn't
and
he?
they're gonna have to make sure that G2 can't start to get their heads
This
back
doesn't
in
get
the
that
game.
bakery door.
They
I
do
think he
it so they
did.
can keep making plays
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
they made a conscious decision to like spawn kill that round, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, big disadvantage very early on. It means that
Man, that
Which
sucks.
if you,
won't be able to help open
yeah, like that's
the
just
site that will
that's just frustrating.
relied on for that. You also have to bear in mind as well that there's only one hard
Really?
breach, so if Rosk gets downed as well, then the option to open up even
So
that
G2 will definitely be putting emphasis on like not dying on the soft roam here if they still are like continuing. It looks like they're just content with that though. They're like gonna just play the 5 downstairs now. Because the worst thing you could do is just give back the man advantage on like a soft roam, even
Mhm.
after getting a pick.
Buck pick looks pretty good right about now.
Yeah, so it's good they have insurance with the sludge dying.
Maybe struggle a little more to find, given that they're not sporting an IQ like G2 were.
No IQ and these cams might go off a little. Wow, okay.
It's very jammy, yeah.
Oh, and Pengu's got impacts. Oh, but he's playing in VIP, okay. Definitely could have impact tricked the hatch though, with like it only being ace, but
Yeah.
he's not anywhere near. Those breach charges are so good. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, if you put it on the wall like that,
Mhm.
it just absolutely destroys the floor as well.
Yeah.
And like you don't get C forward because you're in the hallway. Like it's so good. I saw DZ do that, and now like a lot of people are starting to do that.
Yeah.
Hyper was just doing this like all game, one game.
Asher as he sends in the breach charge down below to remove some of that utility. They do have the hatch open, so they should be able to make their
Well, it looks like they're just setting up for like the default coffee
Still
plant.
5 members of G2
Mhm.
standing. That's a very big
Are they gonna be able to clear everything? They only have one more ash charge. Sometimes there's 2 bubbles here, but if they're extending into bakery, they probably put the last one over in bakery.
That's quite a risk.
Yeah, I think so as well. And like I think they just have too much to deal with as well because the time's dwindling.
Mhm.
Uno's trying to flank up red, or he's getting ready to for like the dying seconds when they have too much to watch. Don't know how Citizen died. That might give them a chance in the round though.
From above, I'm assuming, maybe?
Yeah, it would have had to have been vertical for sure.
They do have the second evil eye here.
Oh no way. So it's just gonna get a bit crazy. I don't know if Uno flanked to get that kill. Look, he did. Got traded. Pengu's got impacts. Plants died.
Nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because Kanto's gotten the job done. And G2
Got a bit crazy there, but I think G2 did that well.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you could definitely tell the VP was some
Having that, like, second evil eye up, like, kind of forces them to plant where they did, which makes it pretty obvious for G2 to, like, kind of converge on that and deny that plants. And, like, part of the reason why you couldn't destroy that evil eye is because you got the opening pick on a sledge, and you only had the ash to clear out, what was in sight.
so many options
Mhm.
in a situation like that. We saw the
Yep.
way that Pasha was positioned, but once they actually jumped down, he immediately was trying to hold that line of sight into VIP because they knew they hadn't cleared it.
I wonder if they put both bubbles there because,
Right next to the freezer wall. He could
like, when Cafe got reworked,
got a kill from that. Basically, the whole
you know, the coffee plant wasn't like. It took a while for that to be meta,
not picked any
but I swear VP were one of the first teams to.
not cleared out
like,
the
do it.
necessary
Uh-huh.
positions, and even
So maybe they just know they really like it and put both there because of that. I don't know.
an attempt onto the site,
I don't actually know
would
like
have known that it was
if
not
they were the first team to do it, but I remember Gio on our team was watching EU and like he saw VP do that like coffee plant when it wasn't really meta and he really liked it and like he wanted us to start doing it and now it's like meta. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it was them, but it was probably just You never
you,
know
Fluffinator.
because teams just scrim each other and like they could have learned it from another team in scrims and
Yeah.
you would never know and stuff like that.
For the EU League. Pretty big thing, really, to be honest. It's not just Pro League anymore. It's not just previous iterations. This brand new program.
So Uno is... What did he get off? He's on Clash now.
Starts with this round. Virtus Pro need to stay.
I think he was playing Maestro. Yeah, Maestro C1.
Then it's a question
What's the bomb site? Sorry.
getting overtime.
Or bar?
Top floor again.
Okay.